Hello guys, welcome back to my channel M for an Instant. So we just really come up with the 7th chapter of Employment Compensation Act 1923 for UPSC EPFO AO EO 2025 Industrial Relation and Labor Laws. Alright, in this chapter we're going to cover different topics. So first of all, the introduction is that in which year it was enacted. So remember one thing, the Employment Compensation Act was enacted in 1923. Which year? It's enacted in 1923. What was the purpose of this? The purpose of this act was compensation to the workers for injuries by accident. So the purpose was compensation to worker for injury by accident. So whenever the worker has been working in the factory, for the safety of his or her future, if any kind of calamity get happen with him, whether it might be man-made, accidental, or natural, so the company will gonna provide him the compensation. According to this act, he will get the compensation because of injuries and accident. Alright, so the next one is applied to all workers except those under ESI Act. Nature, Social Security and legislation. Alright, so what are the objectives of this act? Protect employees and dependents from hardship due to accidents. So these acts talk about the protection employees and dependents from hardship due to accidents. So it is talking about the protection of the employees who have been working in the factory, and those people who have been depending on him, means he is or she is the source of income for her family or for his family. This act will gonna protect him from depending on others and provide him the compensation because of the injuries or the accident that she might has been suffering of. And if he just really get handicapped or may lose his life while doing the work, the company's responsibility is to look over to his family members as well. So it ensures the employer responsibility for occupational hazards. It is also the responsibility of the company to look over the responsibilities for occupational hazards. Means if the worker has been doing any kind of hazardous work, it is the responsibility of the company to look over that whether he is having all the safety equipment while doing the work. Provide speedy and cheap remedy through compensation. So you understand this line very well. I don't need to make you understand that. Provide speedy and cheap remedy through compensation. All right. Encourage safe workplace practices. What are the key definitions? Employee, contract of service worker, skilled, unskilled. So it is implemented to all kind of worker, whether it might be skilled or unskilled. Employer, include company, managing agent, legal hires. So employers means those who hires the employees, they also been included in this one. So that includes company, managing agent means who are been managing, and legal hires, who hires, that means HR department also been included in that. Accident, unexpected incident causing injuries. Unexpected, suddenly a worker has been working in some kind of hazardous or might be dangerous work, and suddenly accidentally he really been caught up with that, and there is a very little injury that have been happened to him. Due to that, he is not able to work in the company anymore. So for such kind of injuries, the company's responsibility is to provide him all the necessary medical facilities. At the same time, need to provide him the remuneration or compensation. So depends family members entitled to compensation. Means if the person get die and his family member are been there, his mother, father, might be wife, might be children, then they are gonna get the compensation for that injured, for that passed away person, or decade person. So employees liability, liable if, now this is the most important thing, that employees liability, liable if means who are the people who just comes under this act, and in what circumstances it will be considered as a compensation. All right, so first of all, injury caused by an accident. If it is an injury caused by an accident, not happen, no one is going to just make any kind of injury by his own self. It has to be happen without any cause suddenly. So accident arises out of and in course of employment. Mistakenly means something got happened, unfortunately, something got happened, supposed to do that, but he has done something wrong. Due to that, he got injured. So such kind of accident also be taken into consideration. Result in death and disablement. I told you, result in that if someone get die, he will also be considered under this act. And if he really get disabled due to the injury, then also he will comes under this act. Let me tell you one thing. If the person get dead, then the compensation will be less. All right. If the person get disabled, then the compensation will be more than the compare to the person who get decayed, or passed away. So remember that thing. Expansions, injury due to negligence, darkness, disobedience. All right, so these are also become under this act. Type of compensation. Now what are the type of compensation? Death of employee, compensation to dependents. All right, death of employee means compensation to dependents. Permanent total disability, percent of wages. All right, so if someone get die, he will get the total amount of compensation and dependents for the remaining years to his family. The company will go and give a lump sum of a big amount to his family directly. All right, so there will be no monthly kind of thing. If the person get permanent total disability, then the percent of the wages, he will get the percent of the wages, you know in monthly basis. At the same time, he will also get a compensation amount. So this is the most important thing that we should take into consideration. Next, permanent parties disablement based on injury schedule. Permanent means the permanent partial disablement means uh, that person who was become disabled, not it is permanent but partial disabled, or injury scheduled, it will gonna be recover sooner or later, but he will be not considered as workable anymore. And temporary disablement means very well half monthly payments. Means for a couple of if there is a some kind of that bone that really broke in his hand or leg, then he will gonna need to leave for he will also consider it disabled, but it will be a temporary basis, and half monthly payment will gonna provide him. you know Now what is the conclusion of the compensation? Based on the monthly wages plus age factor formulas. This is the most important thing. The UPSC might just really gonna ask you the formula. So the formula is to how to calculation of the compensation is based on monthly wages plus age factor. All right, that. Now next one is that is equal to 50% of wages into relevant factors. Permanent total disability is equal to 60% wages into relevant factor. Now let me tell you guys one thing. I'm just giving you this portion. You need to take the screenshot of this because this formula might just really gonna come in your UPSC examination, so it is the most important thing. So take the screenshot, which will be far better for you guys for the future examination. All right, so take this one and this one. All right, take this one and as well as this one. All things have been very important. All right, hope you really took the screenshot. Let's scroll. So minimum compensation fixed by law. There is a minimum compensation that is also been fixed by the law, that you can't just give less than that. You can just go more than that. Commission for the compensation appointed by the state government. It is appointed by the state government powers. Adjudication disputes. It has the power of adjudicated disputes. Determine compensation amount. It also has the power to determine the compensation amount. Enforce employer's liability. It can also enforce the employer's liability. Means it has the power of civil code. Remember that thing. So all right, so penalties. What are the penalties? Means if you not pay the compensation, what will be the penalty? Employer fail to pay is equal to penalty plus interest. False representation by worker, it's going to be the punishment will be fine. There are some also, there might be in jail also. Landmark judgments means what are the landmark judgments that already been took in this, so these are the important things for UPSC purpose. So you need to just do the revision more and more, because UPSC could able to just ask you this kind of question, because landmark judgments are very important, because UPSC are very loving to just ask you that dates and the judgments. So landmark judgments are those, what are the landmark judgments that are been took place in this act? Number one is Mackenzie versus Ibrahim. Muhammad Isaac, 1969, explain arising out of employment. All right, so Pratap Narayan Singh versus Srinivas Sabata, 1976, employer liability strict. So these are the examples. So relevant for UPSC EPFO, social security plus labor welfare, important topics, are the most important thing that you need to talk about. You need to understand it, you need to learn it, you need to practice over it. Overlap with industrial relation and labor laws. All right, covers, it also the part of the, GS paper 2, polity and governance, because it is also the part of that one. So hope you really understand what I just really want to tell you guys. Now let's come for the quick MCQ. So the first question is, Employees Compensation Act enacted in which year? We all studied that it is enacted in 1923. So remember that one very clearly. Employees Compensation Act enacted in which year? 1923. All right, not covered. What are the things that does not covered under it? Is death due to accident? It is covered. Disablement, it is covered. Injury due to darkness, it is not covered under this Factory Compensation Act. All right, so remember that one. What is not covered under this? It is under this Compensation Act of 1923. It is injury due to darkness, injury in employment. Who appoint commissioner? Obviously the president, central government or state government. We all study that it is appointed by the state government. All right, guys, hope you really understand the chapter very well. And if you really like the video, do subscribe, do share with your friend, and don't forget to just do the comment. All right, your sharing will be love for us. The more love you're going to show us, the more betterly we can just make videos. Hope you really like this video. Do your best preparation and attain the best position in your life. So that's all for today guys. Have a nice day. See you in another video. Bye bye.